Hi, I'm Ben Quiggle, editor of Woodall's Campground magazine, and this is another edition of WCM's Park Update. And of course, my esteemed colleague Mike Gast is here, president of the Imi Ola Group. And our guest today, I'm super excited about because I think I've been working on bringing someone from this park for a while. Is Hannah Smith, who is the supervisor of the Hellbender RV Campground, which is owned by the Wilds. And I guess Hannah, if I tried to explain how Hellbender tied into the Wilds or how you guys are related, I would confuse it all up. So I guess if you could just explain a little bit about what Hellbender RV Campground is and how you guys are kind of tied to the Columbus Zoo, I guess.
Yeah, so the Hellbender Campground, we're located at the Wilds. So the Wilds is a safari park. We're a sister park to the Columbus Zoo. So we're not anywhere close to them. A lot of people get that confused. They sometimes show up to the Columbus Zoo expecting to see rolling hills and bison and giraffe, and they don't get that here. So we are located in Zanesville, Cumberland. So we're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and so we work in all ranges of conservation with rhinos and giraffes, but we also work with Ohio natives like the hellbender, birds of prey, things along that line as well. So we kind of encompass everything.
So you got
And
to tell us what a hellbender is right away.
yeah,
Yeah, so the hellbender is an aquatic salamander. So it is the largest that is in North America. They can get around 2.5 to 3 feet long at their largest. So they are kind of dwindling due to the fact that they rely on a clean and healthy like stream system. They are a good indicator of when our waterways are pretty healthy. So that's what we're working on here is, putting them back into the wild, having breeding pairs, working on conservation in terms of that the best we can.
And you don't have to share your tent with those.
No, no, we don't. Thank goodness.
well, I'm pretty excited. You guys are set to, the grand opening is May 30th for the RV campground, and that's pretty exciting. I think I've been watching the development of this park for at least a year or two. Cause how long have you guys been working on the planning process and the construction of this park?
So it's been a long process.
Yeah.
I kind of came in towards the end of it. Because I've been working on this for quite a few months, but I know it's been multiple years of it being working in the process. We have partners with ODNR and other groups as well, so working with them on getting this land reclaimed and then just getting it laid out and getting the architecture for it. So it's been a long time in the process. There's quite a few people here that are excited that I'm here because it means that what they started working on all those years ago is finally pulling through.
So that's
And we're
that's an
fine.
interesting part too. That this is on reclaimed land. It used to be coal mine.
Yep, yep. So, where we are, it was a big coal country, right? So a lot of Appalachia was. We are no exception to that fact, and a lot of the wilds was actually reclaimed coal mines, and ODNR bought it. We worked with them. We got the land. They gave the land to us. It was a whole thing. And especially the campground. We're dealing with a lot of that right now is rocks, right? So when they reclaimed the land, a lot of it was big rocks. So we're working on getting that back, and that also ties back into our ecology team because they do land reclamation. So like working on getting that back to healthy, which is a long process as well.
So what?
Yeah.
How many sites do you have on the park? And what's the park itself look like now?
So for us, for the campground, it is 73 sites. So we have a combination of full hookup and we have a combination of primitive, which on the map you can kind of see it split up half and half. So on the right would be the full hookup site. So we have pull throughs and we have back intos depending on kind of what people want with their camper. And then on the other side, we have those primitive sites. And so each of those have water, which is really nice. So you don't have to, transport a whole thing of water when you go camping with us. But yeah, it's nice. It's kind of, we cover everything. So if you have a big RV you want to go camping, or if you just have a tent, we also have that as well.
I guess what's the experience going to be like at the park? Do you guys have like a theme for the park, or I guess what amenities do you offer?
Yeah, so it's all Hellbender theme, right? So that's
Yeah.
the where that is our name and title. We have a live Hellbender in our camp store, which is pretty cool. So you can see a Hellbender, you get to learn all about the Hellbenders. There's even a giant Hellbender if anybody has kids and they can see how your kiddos compare to the size of a Hellbender, which is pretty fun. We have sport courts, so we have a basketball court and a pickleball court. We also have a playground. We are working on getting communal fire rings put in so people can hang out there. We have a pavilion. We have communal grills for people to use as well on top of that. And then we also have a dog park. So we have quite a few things to do. It's a nice, relaxing time to come hang out with us. And then, of course, we are connected to the wilds. So with that, you can park your camper and then take tours and see all the fun giraffes and rhinos and bison and all that stuff. You can kind of see there in some of the
Yeah.
pictures.
So like, yeah, just so we were scrolling through the website for the park, and then this is kind of the website for the open air safari. So
Mhm.
you guys like load people on buses and let them see the animals, I guess. That's a huge. What is that thing? That thing's like an elk or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have different tours. So we have like a wild side tour, which is in a shorter truck. And then our open air tours, which are the buses, they're the open air buses, school bus with the back cut off.
Yeah.
And you get to drive through and see some of these animals right up close. We have our camels, we have our giraffes, we have a whole bunch of stuff, which is really cool because a lot of times people don't necessarily understand like the size or you can see a giraffe in your mind, but you
Yeah.
don't understand necessarily the amazement of them until you're like next to them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess, this kind of the reason this park kind of interested me too was because I know at WCM we've been tracking a lot of trends over the last couple of years, and agritourism is really big, and where people go and do farm chores. Which when I was working on my grandpa's dairy farm, I never thought, boy, I should put in some lodging sites and have people come help me do this. But I
Yep.
guess that's it now. So. Um, so this isn't exactly agritourism, but you're allowing people to kind of like stay and explore these different things that they can do in your area, I guess, with the safaris.
Yeah, and it's very customizable, right?
Yeah.
We have all sorts of ranges. We even do birding tours. So it's kind of whatever you have an interest in, we have a tour for it, and you can get up close, or if you just want to sit in a bus and see from afar, you can also do that as well. So it kind of covers all sorts of aspects in that.
Now the Wilds also has safari tents available, yurts
Yeah.
for rent, but that's not part of the Hellbender campground, right?
Nope. So the Hellbender campground is really nice because it's kind of removed. It's as close to peace and quiet at the wilds as I think you can get because we're far away from everything. But we do have yurts. So we have, the glamping tents. If someone comes in and is like, I don't have a tent, I don't have an RV, I don't want to rent it, we do have that option available. We also have a option called it's the outpost. So you tent camp in between the rhinos, I believe the rhinos in another pasture. So you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So that is another camping option if people are interested in that, which is really cool. So we have a whole range. We have, cabins, we have a lodge, we have the yurts. So there's something for everybody for sure.
Yeah. What I mean, so obviously this podcast is more of a business type podcast. I guess what does a yurt or a tent go for when you're that close to a rhino? I guess.
I have to look at the pricing for that. It's funny because I've been so encompassed in
No,
the
that's
um
okay. Well, that's all right. I mean, I know how much I would pay to be next to a rhino. It would be quite a bit, probably more than a traditional RV site to be next to a rhino. But
yeah.
and I guess what kind of led to the campground? I guess do you know what kind of spurred the decision to build the campground? Was there a lot more demand for the lodging?
Yeah, so I think it started as a way to get more people to be able to enjoy the wilds, right?
Hmm.
So our sites are 70 bucks a night for a full hookup, 50 bucks a night for primitive site. So it was able to open it up for more people to come in and enjoy what we do. And to be able to stay longer, and if they wanted to do more tours. So it started off as that discussion of how can we get more people to be able to come out here and enjoy all of this, and to be able to see the wonder. It's beautiful out here, right? It's rolling hills as well, so it's a gorgeous place to stay. So it came for a need, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, has what's the demand been like?
crazy.
Do you have a
um,
lot of advanced reservations for your grand opening, I guess?
yeah. So it was funny because we had a soft launch. We were like, okay, we're gonna not promote it for the first couple of days. We'll open up the website if people happen to stumble upon it. They can stumble upon it, and then we'll promote it once we're all, ready. And the second we had it, it was bookings like crazy, and we didn't even say anything about it because people, especially people in the area, people who love the wilds, have been watching it. They want it to be open. They want to come stay with us. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had the tab already open on their, computers waiting to see it. And when they saw it open, they were ready. So,
Well, you guys announced it in 2022, I believe, is when they first announced the campground. And I imagine like people, especially people who understood what the wilds were or connected to the Columbus Zoo, were probably super excited. And I know you guys have been doing a really good job of keeping the publicity going as far as like when you were going through the permitting process and everything. So I imagine people were just waiting for you guys to open up reservations. So
yep.
it's kind of a good case for other park owners who are developing parks as to how to drum up the interest, because I think we've had 3 or 4 stories up on the campground as it approach opening as well. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I guess is what are the plans for the future? I guess is there room to expand, or is that something you guys have talked about?
Yes, for sure. So that's kind of why I'm here. I've worked within the park system, the eco recreation system for the past 4 or 5 years, about 5 years. So I'm kind of coming in as that fresh set of eyes, fresh mind, the driving force to get us to grow. Um, this is phase one. I know they plan on doing other phases where we add stuff because we are ever changing with the times. We want to make sure that our guests have the best time of their life and that we continue to promote what we have here. Um, and so, yes, there's going to be more phases that come out as years go on. I was just talking to somebody how, you know, I will be amazed to see how much we even grow and flow within the next 5 years, which 5 years doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I think it'll be crazy just the stuff that turns out because the support we've gotten from everybody has been amazing in terms of the campground itself.
And so is there land out there that is available for expansion too?
But yes. Yes, like I said, we are, removed. So we are 15 minutes away from the main campus of the Wilds. It's like a giant property. It's thousands and thousands of acres. So we're still on the property. We're just kind of a little bit of ways away. They had plans to expand, but also the nice thing about our campground is the sites are huge. So that also leaves room for more movement around. We want to keep the sites to be big as well.
So are you doing shuttle service between the campground and the wilds?
Yes, yep, that's what we're working on. We'll have a shuttle available for people to get from point A to point B. Now, a lot of people might want to drive. Campers, they usually back their camper in, unhook their truck or whatever they used to pull, and they go on their day. But we do want to have that available for our guests, just in case, because we know sometimes RVs, they don't always tow something behind them. So we want to make sure they're able to get from point A to point B effortlessly.
So what? Obviously, the wilds is you guys are kind of a destination park, so obviously people are coming more than likely to enjoy the safari and some of the other things you guys offer. But are there different like activities and stuff you guys are going to be doing at the campground for when campers are there, I guess?
Yeah, yeah. So we have, like I said, we had two teams. We have the ecology team. We also have an education team because we do have a summer camp as well on our
Okay.
property. And they have a group of volunteers, and they also have staff that are going to do certain programming within the campground. It just depends on the weekend and what they plan on doing. So that could be anything from a craft to learning about the Hellbender to learning about the birds of prey to learning about owls. So it just depends on what we have going on. And like I said, we also have like the sport courts and stuff like that for people to use for free when they come stay with us.
The wilds has a membership function too. So do the members of the wilds get discounts at the campground?
Yeah, so they do get a small discount. I believe it's somewhere between like 5 and 10%. Um, And the membership helps us out a lot. So with like membership, they get early access to some things. They get, you know, a newsletter and other items like that. So that's pretty cool as well. I have a membership. It's a great way to support us. Like we said, every aspect here, yes, it supports the wilds, but it supports the conservation efforts, which spans the globe.
Yeah. And I guess I imagine you guys have a pretty big camp store at this facility too. I guess what just dive into a little bit about what that looks like. Do you guys, offer quite a bit of stuff at the camp store, even like a lot of souvenir items?
Yeah. So whatever you need Hellbender themed, I have. So, you know, we have your mugs, your water bottles, your sweatshirts, your t-shirts. We also have a wider range of camping supplies. So, if you forget your RV cords or your extension cords or a tarp or a tent stake or your tent has a hole in it, we have patching kits for that. We have food as well. So we have, your snack items. We are selling drinks on property as well. And then we also have Dole Whip, Dippin' Dots, cappuccino machines, slushy machines. So especially when it gets hot, it'll be a perfect store to come visit, right? Because you'll have all that stuff. And then we
Yeah.
also have your little trinkets for your kids and, stuffed animals and things along that line. So we cover all the bases.
So
Yeah, I know.
what's since you tied in with the wilds, what's the future for the wilds? Are they going to be adding more exhibits there?
Yeah, so they always have plans. Um, I know right now they're working on different projects within like hoof stock, which is our hoof animals, and if you follow our Facebook page, they'll update people on that quite regularly. Um, the wilds, one of the most fantastic things about working here is we never plan on stopping improving. So we never have an end goal. We're like, oh, that's where we're going to get. We're going to stop there. Every year we look and we constantly say, hey, this is where we need to go. This is where we need to improve. This is what we need to do to better every aspect of the wilds. And so I think as long as I work here, I'll be here probably until I retire. We'll keep improving. There'll be more and more projects that, show up.
Do you think people enjoy kind of the blending of these kind of things, like the animals and stuff? I guess is there ways to like maybe even open up like a petting zoo at the actual campground too down the road? I guess.
I don't think that's the general direction that the campground will go. Now we do have like giraffe barn tours where they do stuff with the giraffes so you can get up close and things along that line. Um, for us, it's like the betterment of the animals, right? So we want to
Yeah.
make sure here they have about as natural of an experience as they can. They're out in the fields roaming. They have the natural abilities for that. I don't think that's the direction the campground will go, but there's still other options for people to get close to the
Mhm.
animals to, get that one-on-one.
Yeah. Well, can you just give people a little information about where they would learn more and then potentially get a reservation? I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So if they go to thewilds.org, that has all of our information for the wild. So if they want to come camping with us, it'll have the information for that, all the other lodging, and then our tours. If they find an option for, they'll go to the menu, find our lodging. There'll be a little box for the campground. They click that, and it brings up all the information, our rules, our policies, dog park policies, anything you need to know, pretty much. And then you can scroll down, and there'll be an interactive map to book. So any site you'll put your dates in, and any site that's available will light up for you. You can click it. Once the campground right now, we are just getting out of winter for Ohio, so
Mhm.
you're in Michigan. You said it's a little nippy. It was same here, so we're waiting on getting some greenery. Once that happens, we'll even have pictures of every site available. So if you want to know, hey, I want to know what this site is viewing or what I can see or can't see, that's what this will highlight for you. You click on that and it'll take you through your booking process. When you book with the campground, you get 20% off of an open air tour, which that is that bus tour with the back cut off. It's an amazing tour to go on. You add that to your stay as well. If you don't, you end up getting you'll get two confirmations. That's the word for it. And that's just gets confusing. So if you add the two together, it helps you out quite a bit. And then you're ready. If you want to call, we do have a call center. It's just the zoo's call center. The number's available on the page as well. Um, and if you call them, they will also be able to take you through the booking. So if you have some questions or it's a little bit complicated, they're able to get you through that.
I guess I also wanted to ask too. Do you guys get a lot of foreign guests at the zoo? Are you anticipating a lot of foreign guests at the campground?
Yeah, I mean, we have people from all over the world come and see us.
Okay.
Um, we we are one of the premier parks in terms of that. We are um, the care of our animals brings a lot of people to us because this isn't just your run-of-the-mill safari park where it's, you know, we take care of our animals, so a lot of people appreciate that and they want to come see that. And so, yes, I think that will continue on. I think that will never stop. And so I think that's amazing. We want to bring
Yeah.
people to this area.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, we talk I run into a lot of parks. Some of them get a lot of foreign guests and others don't. I imagine the zoo would probably attract a lot of foreign, and the wilds would probably attract a lot of foreign guests. So I just was wondering. So,
Yeah,
yeah. But all right. Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for talking with us.
of
And
course.
well, I look forward to maybe coming down sometime, checking it out with my kids. It looks like an excellent campground and a location. So I didn't know there were rhinos in Ohio. So now that I know, I'll have to come see them. So,
Yeah,
but
got it.
Usually
thanks.
they're on the offensive line.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, and thanks everyone for watching. And we will be back again next week.